What's up, everyone? It's KB, and I love movies. Thank you for joining us on a Friday night. Welcome back to everyone who's been here before. First time checking us out. Welcome. Uh, a lot's been going on. TGIF to everybody. If you work Saturdays or Sundays, still TGIF. Here in Kansas City, I think fall showed up, and in typical Midwest fashion, we went from 90 degrees to a frost advisory tonight. So we have that to look forward to. I had to go and put on some socks and a hoodie. I was just in t-shirts and shorts. But our guest tonight, I guess he's still in t-shirt and shorts. You might catch him on a Thursday night with his very lovely show called Reconnected. But he's called Ryan. He's from a show called The Disconnected. And he's my buddy. How you doing, man?
Doing fantastic. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm happy for the cooler weather.
Me too. As a fat man, it is very welcome.
I hate when I'm supposed to be wearing flannels and I'm getting a PSL and I'm sweating.
Hence the still wearing a t-shirt. I've got the fat parka on for sure.
Yeah. So what's been going on, man? I'm just going to start off by saying this is a busy man right here. This is a busy man. Bit. I would say it's been like about a month or so since the announcement, the big announcement.
It's close to that.
And for those that don't know what we're talking about, go ahead and fill them in.
So I have been working behind the scenes for the last few months to get some stuff going, and it's been exactly 3 weeks as of this week. 3 weeks ago, I announced that Dr. Will Dodson and myself are starting something called Someone's Favorite Productions, and we are working behind the scenes to work on some special features content for Blu-ray discs for many of these boutique companies, and a lot of other stuff is in the works to accompany that. But that's the first phase that we're rolling out because we've already been working on that for multiple months. There's a lot of stuff that's already completed that just has not been able to be announced yet, just the nature of the timing of things. So it's an exciting time.
Yeah. And there's a lot of other stuff that he can't discuss, but as we say in the industry, definitely stay tuned. Also, what else has been going on? What's been going on is I'm sure you're getting a lot of different things as far as like things to do with different labels and working with boutiques. But what about you? You're still a collector. I wish we could pull the camera back and show one of my favorite places just to hang out, because this man's room right now is wall to wall covered in movies,
including the floor.
Still on the floor?
Yep.
Okay. Floor, walls, magnetically attached to walls, closets that you can't open because they will assault you, and other places. True. But you pick up anything good lately, or?
Yeah, since we were talking about this, I got a handful of things out. One thing I want to highlight: Radiance Films. They've only been around for 9 months and kind of killing it out there. It's shocking. One thing is, if you subscribe to Radiance, they include just random goodies probably every 2 or 3 months. They've done like a zine that they designed a couple times this year. The newest one, I wish other companies would do stuff like this. They sent out a notebook, and it's a Radiance branded notebook, but it's something I can use. Yeah. It's not something that's just going to be up on the shelf taking up space that I'm like, why do I have this? It's actually useful.
And I like the film clip on it. Very nostalgic.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's not just from Note, people. It's real.
Another one, a company that doesn't get enough love, Arbalos Films, is somebody that I've been dealing with a lot lately. We did a big piece of them in the zine, and I went back and got one of their limited titles, Cinematic Sorceress, the films of Nina Menkes, and all of their limited titles come in this beautiful envelope packaging. Wow. It's a slipcover of sorts, and when you take it off, it literally is an envelope. It opens on the side. And when you open it, you've got the film on the inside, and
that's cool.
It is a wonderful package. And then they always do stuff like they got all their postcards inside.
Yeah.
They've got a sticker for the company. They're just incredible people to support. And a lot of people don't know this. It's the same owners that own Canadian International Pictures, the OCN partner label, also own Arbelos Films.
This is what I love about this man, among other things, but he knows the behind the scenes stuff. Like if I said, "Hey, so who started Radiance and what's their importance to the boutique label industry?" He would
Fran
say,
Simeone. Yeah, he was a employee at Arrow for almost 10 years and really started to get his worth there, heading up the Arrow Academy side. And because he was a little different than all that, the Arrow Academy line was stopped. And eventually, Fran said, this has been great, but I'm going to go start my own thing. And now he's over killing it at Radiance.
"Yeah, what's the one I have? Big Time Gambler. I like that one. What is it? There's another one, Yazuka.
Yakuza.
Yeah. Is it Yakuza Crime Lord or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a lot of titles on the brain right now.
And then also, I just picked up the Sunday Woman. I waited
Oh,
for
nice.
the standard instead of getting the limited. I missed out on the limited when it first came out, so I just waited and got the standard. But looking forward to checking that out after my 150 plus movies that I have to watch for this month.
Yes, it is a
Yikes!
busy month for that.
Yikes! Yeah. What
A
else?
couple other I wanted to show you. I don't know if you saw this cover yet. Did you ever get to see Deadstream?
Ooh, I I know it just recently came out, but if I did, I don't remember it.
So it went like a full year after getting a Shutter release without getting any physical media, and then it got a steelbook and a standard. The steelbook I think was exclusive to Walmart, but even
Yeah.
better, they had a media book that released in Germany that is playing off of the old Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 cover.
Nice.
And this
Nice.
is an incredible release. Just got this in.
I like
Beautiful,
that.
beautiful set.
I like that.
Legend of Boggy Creek 4K. This is one
Mm,
that a lot of people are getting right now. This is from the same family that created the film 30 plus years ago. Eager to put this in. Incredible movie.
cool.
And then two that I worked on recently. These are two of the first discs I did. I did the special features for this one. This is the pack from Screen Factory. I edited all the interviews on here. We've got one video interview and then two or three audio interviews. Put those all together. But the one so far that I'm most proud of is coming out. This is from Altered Innocence, the
Yeah.
OCN partner label. And I edited the visual essay for this that is almost 30 minutes long. And just speaking humbly, it's an incredibly moving piece. I didn't write it myself, but man, editing it and putting it all together was a gift. I feel honored for sure.
So if you guys are looking for some titles that are not necessarily the standard fare, but good stuff, and you want to support this man's work, he just showed you a couple of good titles to pick up. Yeah, I remember when you on your Thursday night show when you said that was coming soon. At the time, we didn't know you were involved, but
Right.
that's cool. That's cool. Um, Grindhouse is like lacking, man. They had pre-orders and they couldn't fill them all, so I just got this yesterday.
Ah, nice.
So I'm happy to get that. The Psycho 4 box set, and I just ordered a couple things. I finally picked up Tenebrae.
Ooh, nice.
And I like this version. I like this cover better than the US one that came out this week. So yeah, I need to get back into some Argento. And then one of my favorites, and definitely this is a movie that people don't talk about enough. 4 Rooms.
4 Rooms is great.
4 Rooms is so much fun.
It's so fun.
Especially, I like the Tarantino one at the end because it is basically a homage to Hitchcock. So yeah, it's a Alfred Hitchcock presents story within 4 Rooms. So yeah, couple of overseas titles there. More on the way.
First Blu-ray release of 4 Rooms, I believe. I'm hoping that we get a good Blu-ray of that in the States eventually.
Yeah, I couldn't wait when I saw this one and it was a decent price on Grindhouse. I was like, I'll just pick it up. So this Grindhouse order is late, And the other Farmhouse order that was supposed to come this week is also late. But it's all good. It's worth that price difference that I paid.
That's true.
Yeah. I have no idea what we're going to talk about tonight, but let's see who's joining us. That's always a good place to start.
Sure is.
Let's see. We got Adrian James in the house saying what's up. We got a nice little intro here from the monkey. Ryan and KB, what a fright this will be. Mine earlier tonight is still in the conception of Brie. A spook fest of delight and fun will be had tonight. So you might want to hold your pillow tight. I always mess it up. I'm sorry, monkey. So creative. I just like get caught up in the words. We got Holland in the house. Hello.
Hey.
Jeff K joining us. One of your friends here.
Oh yeah.
All right. Thanks for popping over. We got Dustin Putman staying here for the Halloween. Ryan and KB goodness. Thanks for joining us. We got Lance Jackson. What are you watching today, sir? Everybody else is watching some classic Halloween cartoons. All right. Fat Albert Halloween special. Great Pumpkin. Yes. Nice. Love it. A little nostalgia there. What's up, Michael? Yes. Thank you. Smack that like button. More importantly, give this man a follow. It's pretty much the disconnected wherever you go. So YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, find him anywhere, everywhere. Good follow. And like I said, Thursday nights at 8:30 Central, we could say that because that's our time zone. We're both within the Kansas City area. So yeah, definitely check him out. Who else is here? We got Bob. What's up, Bobby Blue?
For the record, Bob is the guest on Reconnected next Thursday, so everybody should come hang out and check out Bob.
And take a nap, because Bob likes to go long.
And I'm on vacation, so I've got no excuse now.
What's his record? All I know is that neither one, no, he got up to use the bathroom. You did not. You're a freaking camel.
I've got lots of pouches I can store.
I'm like, how is he sitting there all? And then in my mind, I just made a joke. I was like, I don't know. It depends.
I think Bob's record is just over 6 hours, but we did beat Bob's record by like 20 minutes with someone else.
Ooh, he's gonna try to beat it now.
He better not. I've got too much going on now.
Michael sent this to you. He has a degree in editing. Watch a lot of behind the scenes documentaries.
Nice.
He wants to be connected to someone. Avid Unlimited, Final Cut, DaVinci Resolve. There's a lot of Resolve work in the industry now. Add Premiere Pro.
Premiere is one of the biggest ones right now. Yeah.
Quick story. So all these years, you know, I used to work at Apple, trainer, teaching people how to use Final Cut. Start using Premiere for work. And I went back to do some quick videos, you know, doing a couple of these pre-recorded.
Yeah.
And last night, my man Todd, that was pre-recorded. I forgot all my keyboard shortcuts.
Yep.
And you know, you work in a program like that, keyboard shortcuts are king. If you got to be clicking on menus and right click,
takes forever.
I was like, what's the most important thing I need to remember? Blade. Command B, Command B, Command B. And I was rocking and rolling, but everything else, I was like, ah.
I've given up on command, and I've customized it to only be the letter B for me.
Nice. So you're just like,
yep, single key.
Nice. What's up, Laren? Thank you again for joining me earlier this week. We had a great spooky season conversation. That will be on Sunday. So talking about pre-recorded, there was another one. Let's see. Blu-rays are glued to the ceiling as well. That's right. That's
not quite that far yet, but maybe soon.
We got jokes. Everyone's saying hi. Yes, Yakuza Graveyard. Thank you, Jeff. I like those. Radiance, so far, everything that I've watched is pretty cool. We got Brother Dell in the house saying what's up, saying hi to everybody. We got Corey in the house. Hey. Let's see. We got Caveman in the house. Still with that Will Smith joke. Let it go. We got Mika in the house saying hey to everyone. We got Lutolomor. What's up, my man? Thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks everyone joining us on a Friday night. You could have been anywhere else. You could have been out seeing Exorcist Believer, but you're here with us. We appreciate you.
Definitely.
Yeah, we know. We know. We know.
This
Thanks for
artist is
coming over
featured in
here.
my intro video.
Thanks for following us over here. All right. I was kidding though. We do have stuff we could talk about.
Of course.
So you were a returning guest. We did
I
this
am.
last year, and which was pretty cool because then we went to see the Nightmare on Elm Street marathon. That was on the 1st, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. And this year there's no marathon, but for Shocktober they are bringing back an edited version of Carpenter Fest.
Yep.
And you can't go.
And I can't go. Yeah, I'd love to be there. I've been to. God, what year is this? The 6th time they've done it, something like that. I think
So.
I've been to half of them, and
Yeah.
this is the lineup that I'd really love to see.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen Christine on the big screen. Let me see if I could pull it up quickly because I mean it's somewhat related. This is spooky season stuff.
Yeah, I think Christine is the main one I haven't seen on the big screen either.
Yeah, and I think that's the closing movie that they're doing. So Screenland Armor, which is our favorite theater in Kansas City, is basically doing Shocktober. So they have a movie every night, and yes, that does include Taylor Swift. But you know, hey, you gotta make money. You gotta make money. So they are doing. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. Yeah. They are doing Carpenter Fest. And for this year, they're showing The Fog, which we spoke about on the conversation with Todd Kelly. The Thing, which I have not seen that on a big screen in a long time.
It's a big one.
And you have to imagine they're going to be using the 4K transfer, and that thing is beautiful.
Yep. It's a great 4K.
It'd be nice to see that nice and big. And then Christine. So not an all-day thing, but 6 hours with Carpenter is never a bad thing.
Yeah, and there's always, trivia and hangout and good snacks and themed drinks and all that fun stuff. So it's a good time.
Yeah, it's always a good time at Screenland Armor, whether it's an event or just a movie. I mean, I've gone there for a couple of movies to review and everything, so pretty cool. Let's see. A couple other people popping in. What's up, Spicy? Thanks for hanging out with us. So you just want to get into these movies?
Let's do it. You're the boss. And I got to say, it's interesting being a guest. I haven't done it in a couple months. And I think there's been 2 or 3 times I've already tried to click to highlight a comment.
Yeah, because you want to jump ahead. You see something and you're like, oh, I could just pop this up. I could just pop this up. What would you say?
It's
had
I think the shell itself is very old, but it's been renovated many, many, many times. It's God, I think it's been there since like the 70s.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. But the great thing is it's community supported and people are always going there for different events, and some people just live locally enough they go there for their weekly movies, and they're always making some renovation. Like they opened up a hangout with a video rental place in it. They're always updating things like the bar. They just redid the marquee with new LEDs, so things like that. It's pretty cool.
It is so community driven that when they made the change to digital, they had a Kickstarter and the entire community donated and got them with proper digital setup. So
yeah.
The
man's just busy, period. It's not even for that lineup. It's just busy.
It's not even that either. It's my wife works on the weekends and we have one car. So she's not going to get home until after the first movie's almost done.
Yeah. It's not worth it, even though I didn't even realize it's the same price that we paid for the marathon.
Oh, geez.
It's the same.
I mean, it's still not that bad, really.
It's not. But I said last year, I said, "We're getting all of these for just this?" So,
Right.
no, it's not the case.
And the crazy thing is that didn't even, like, have a full theater all day.
Mm-mm. And by the time we got to Freddy versus Jason, 60% of the theater was
Yep.
gone. They're like, "I could go home and watch this. It's almost midnight." So, and I that's the only one I had never seen on the big screen, so I stayed to watch it.
Yep.
What's up, Steve? Flick Friends, love that. Hey, I know that guy.
Hey.
Nathan is the reason why we're talking.
Yep.
So I always thank him for that. Yeah, man, just talking movies.
Always.
So I don't have the one, two, three, four, but for the majority of these, we just want to talk spooky, creepy movies.
Yeah.
And as I sent out the invites, I put a line in there to almost everyone, and I said, and we all know that doesn't always mean horror movies. So with that in mind, what are the 5 movies that you chose?
All 5 that I chose, first one is George A. Romero's Day of the Dead, my favorite of Romero's zombie films.
Okay, that's a good start.
Next is Terrified. This is a film from 2017. It was a Shudder original, super creepy. Next is The Mist that everybody's picking up right now.
Look at you. Look at you. God, don't give him the 5th one until we're ready to talk about it.
Okay. Next is this gorgeous 4K of City of the Living Dead. And then I guess we'll highlight the 5th when we get there.
Yeah. All right. So we could just spend some time. We'll try to stay spoiler free as possible for the people who didn't see any of these, so you don't have to bounce out. But if we get really intense, I mean, I do have the spoiler talk banner that will go up, but
That's smart.
yeah, we'll try to do
I
it.
might steal that.
Yeah, please do. Please do. I'll give you the file. Yeah, man. So Day of the Dead is your favorite, huh?
Day of the Dead is my favorite, and it's not even nostalgia talking. It's one that grew on me as time went on. I was always Night of the Living Dead. I've never really been hot on Dawn of the Dead, which seems to be most people's favorite. I've always thought that one maybe too silly. I think tonally it doesn't fit quite in the trilogy. But this one really highlights how terrible people are.
Yeah.
The other two are real focused on the zombies themselves and the dire situation that they're in, and that happens in Day of the Dead. But
Hmm.
the humanity collapsing is really what the focus of this one is. And the big thing, I think Romero really shines with his dialogue in Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
It's all I don't know, it's isolating. The way they speak is isolating, and obviously they're in an underground bunker, so it's already setting the stage for you, but the way that they speak and the things that they say get to the core of humanity in ways that you just know, and these people are screwed.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing about it is throughout the movie, you just keep telling yourself, it doesn't matter what they do. You
Right.
know, you can run out of ammo, you could do your experiments, you could try to survive, but it's inevitable. This is like pretty futile. This is going to end badly.
Right.
I will agree with you that out of the 3, and surprisingly so, it is the and wow, people will disagree. I will say it upon rewatch, it's the best written one
Oh, easily.
because the other 2 kinda lean heavily on the social commentary to the point that the character development isn't there, and it's
Yep.
not like people are, like, turning over new leaves while they're trying to escape their zombie death, but at the same time, the characters are defined here, and
Oh, yeah.
it still has its goofiness about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's character growth for a zombie in this
Yeah,
movie, and
yeah.
that doesn't happen in any other movie.
We gotta talk about the brother.
Yeah,
We gotta talk about Flyboy.
he's amazing in this.
Okay, first of all, I forget his name. I could pull up the wiki, but it's Friday, I could care less. Let's just say his name is Tony Johnson. It's something like that. Somebody look it up in the chat. But he's an American actor. And from my days of watching soap operas, I remember him for One Life to Live.
Oh yeah.
Definitely not using the same accent. That accent that they gave him, it was like coming and going and coming and going. I'm like, "Ee." So as far as writing, that was a misstep there. Maybe they could have got a real Jamaican, but they wanted him. But yeah, not so much.
His
But
name is Terry Alexander, by the way.
I was close. Oh man, what are some other characters that you just found kind of goofy or like cartoonish?
I mean, kind of everybody's written just slightly over the top. The big one is Joe Pilato in
Yeah,
this. He is such a crazy villain. He plays Captain excuse me, Captain Henry Rhodes, and he just starts the movie with an attitude, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And the hard part is the base of the story. You have scientists mixing with the military, and because of the situation of them being stuck here together, they're always going to be at odds. And obviously, there's
yeah,
social commentary there showing a lot of the difference between the education levels and
yeah.
uh,
And power
turning it into
dynamics.
exactly
Yeah.
and assumed power dynamics, especially when it comes to gender roles.
Hmm.
This is a crazy movie on that side. It's great to see him. Even then, he's developed. He's kind of a dick the entire movie,
Hmm.
but by the end, when he gets his comeuppance, it is totally worth it. And that comeuppance is some of the best zombie makeup and incredible practical effects that you'll find in any movie ever.
Yeah, let's go there, man. Because once again, out of the three, this is where I mean, this the second one you had Tom Savini, and he was the zombie throughout and
Yep.
everything, but there was something special about this one. And what were we talking? How many years difference?
It
78,
is,
85, 7 years?
yeah.
Yeah, not that long as far as practical effects and special makeup coming along and everything, but there was something great about the makeup in this, especially as you get
Yeah.
towards the third act of the film.
It is just special, and Savini's still doing a lot of it. Greg Nicotero, he's in the cast, which, he's obviously gonna go on to do Walking Dead and, tons of great practical effects on his own. But yeah, that final act is wild for some of the things that they're able to put out there, and if if you've ever listened to commentaries on this or interviews or anything, the way they described filming some of these, they were like, "Yeah, we actually used putrid organs to film the scene, and this whole hallway smelled god awful." And it's like, I mean, thanks for doing that. And I guess now I'm finding that there's a tie between that and City of the Living Dead that we
Yeah,
can talk about tonight. But
yeah.
the fact that they're willing to go there to make it look that disgusting, it's just good,
th-
great choice, great
Not
choice.
giving anything away, but there was a scene where guts just hit the floor. And
Yes.
if that was fake, kudos. But man, that was like that seemed a little too real to be fake,
Yep.
so that makes sense. That makes sense that they did that, but,
Yeah, they went there for sure.
John Doe, what's up, my man? He went to see Exorcist. Cool. Yeah, we're doing fine. Thanks for hopping in. Spider Baby is pretty creepy.
Bava.
Yeah, Day to Dead, great film. Just saw it. Okay. So
Nice.
we could pop you in here and talk about it too. Um, let's see. Oh, they're talking Exorcist. Not going there. Sorry, sorry. Haven't seen Day to Dead. Didn't care much about the first two. Well, then the the third one isn't going to hit you any better. Then, um, never have to worry about the zombies. We know what they're going to do. I mean,
Bingo.
as soon as they put their arms up, you know.
Yep.
And there's a scene in it that just reminded me of like the scene in Austin Powers where he's like, no, and it's taking forever.
Yep.
I felt that. I felt that. Um, let's see. Still talking about Access. My bad. Yeah, great effects. Great effects. Mama Blu-ray in the house. What's up, Bonnie? What's up there? Thank you for joining us. Um, what else about this, man?
I'd say if you didn't like the first two, there's still a big chance you might like this one. I think this one definitely sticks out, compared to the other two. It's not slow like Night of the Living Dead, and it's not messy like Dawn of the Dead. It's contained, and it's actually probably the most actual horror of the 3 films.
Yeah. Similarities in a sense, you go from the mall to the bunker
Right.
and everything taking place in one place, but there was something, and I didn't care for any of the subsequent ones that followed, like the one that who is it, Dennis Hopper? Which one is that? Where they were in Pittsburgh or something like that, like a community in Pittsburgh.
Dennis Hopper.
It's like one of the follow-up Living Dead sequels, but had nothing to do with the trilogy. But of these 3 movies, they're kind of self-contained in itself, but it's funny how every description, whether you got the physical or whatever, maybe even on your Blu-ray there, it's like after a couple of years from the last event. So it's like they're always like looking back to tie them together.
Yeah, nothing like that, but they definitely tried to do it for sure.
Yeah.
It's a good
Uh,
movie.
yeah, for
Dang good
sure.
movie.
Definitely liked it. The reason the guts stank is because they took a break in filming and kept the guts in the refrigerator.
Yep.
And while they were gone, someone unplugged it. Oh, the heat, the
Yep.
containment.
It was
Landed again.
actually
Thank you, Jeff.
actually rotting organs.
Jeff is our research crack team tonight, so thank you for that. We had a good conversation the other night, and I will ask you quickly the same question. 78, since you said it's not your favorite, 78 Dawn of the Dead or the Zack Snyder remake, or as I call it, remix?
Can I cheat like I often do?
Yeah, why not? Why stop
Uh,
you now?
I'm gonna say the opening from Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead with
Mhm.
the mall from Romero's.
Nice. Nice. I get where you're going. And the funny thing is, that's the only part of the extended director's cut unrated that I didn't like because they didn't go right to that
Yeah.
intro. It was like too much other stuff going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So when they came back, they didn't have time to get new guts. They had to use the rotten guts. Woo! Yikes.
We don't have a budget for 2 times the guts. Come on.
Yeah. Land of the Dead. That's the Dennis Hopper one. Twins, Day of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead are our favorites. Big fan. Oh, okay. You gotta put me on because I didn't dig it the last time I saw it. And that was probably like DVD era.
I'm iffy on Land of the Dead too.
Yeah. Like 2000s, whatever. Okay, this next one, this is gonna be all you because it's not easy to find. So tell us about Terrified, 2017's Terrified.
So I assume that means you did not get a chance to see this.
I did not. But
So,
it looks creepy as all get out.
I'm gonna read this. This is probably the best way to get this across, and of course, it's written in a font that is super dark. Where's I got a light around here somewhere.
A magnifying glass?
No, cell phone.
Basement Blues?
On an ordinary suburban street in Buenos Aires, voices are heard from kitchen sinks, bodies are levitating, evil is here. It is up to a doctor, her colleague, and an ex-cop to get to the bottom of this neighborhood nightmare. Damien Arugnas must-see Terrified punches you in the face with genuine scares. And I chose this one because this is one of the only films in the last 10 years or so that really made me feel like, I'm actually disturbed and uncomfortable right now because of watching this movie.
Wow.
I am fairly desensitized to a lot of horror. I've watched a lot of depraved crap over the years, and it's mostly just the fun of figuring out how they got that on the screen. But this one, man, there are a couple scenes that are just in like done in a way that you question what is real about your life in the moment that you're watching it.
Yeah.
It is a supernatural story of somebody's house that there's a lot of stuff going on around it. And I'm going to try to stay away from spoilers for this because so few people have seen this. I just want to entice you to go watch it.
I want to see it for sure.
There are scenes where people are mourning a missing and presumed dead child. And at the moment that they're in this and they're investigators at the house, they come around the corner into the dining room of the house, and the child is dead, but sitting at the dinner table.
Oh, nah. Nah. Nah.
And I know that sounds like a spoiler, but it even hearing that does not really share how uncomfortable this scene can make you. It is a remarkably great film, filmed in this very professional way from a first or second time filmmaker, if I remember right. And it made like some film festival lists for that year that it went around, but hardly anybody saw it. And then a couple years later, Shutter got it, and it just stayed quiet under the radar, and it's so incredible. This movie, there's certain things that it makes you question, like, is there something in the walls? Is how creepy it makes you feel. Um, this is one that if you are feeling desensitized, or if you're feeling like you want a movie to make you feel feelings for the first time in a while, make yourself feel terrified.
I just looked it up on Nathan, did you get the region B? Because the region A is like $35.
Oh, geez. Why?
Yeah. Oh, hey, you know what? It's on Shutter. So 7-day trial, or do whatever you got to do
There
if
you
you
go.
don't have it. Use a different email. But yeah.
Sardis.
Uh,
Sardis is not like horror. He is a big sci-fi person.
oh, okay. I could get with you then. The child at the table, that's all I gotta say. So scary. It's so disturbing. Yeah. Whew. Yeah. The region B is like 17-20 bucks.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Kind of weird, but it's so weird once you start, like, let's say Second Sight and some of their stuff that they currently have on sale for like £8.
Yep.
You start getting region B stuff from your boutique labels, and you have a region free player, you kind of lose track of what's A, what's B.
Oh, yeah.
As long as it plays. Oh, it doesn't play here, put it in the other player. Okay. But yeah.
Oh, darn.
Yeah. Oh, he didn't even realize it. It's all good. I know you got a region free player, so you're fine. Wow. And it's funny. As I mentioned, Ryan was my first spooky season guest last year, this time. And I asked him about what is it about the genre, the horror genre, that attracts him. And he made this comment, and I've gone several times to make it into a clip because it's profound. And he says, sometimes you just need to feel something. And for you to bring that up again in reference to this movie just makes me really want to see it, because wow.
I
Yeah.
think you'd appreciate it. I know you're not huge into horror, but this is one that that will open some eyes. And the big thing is it's a South American film, and for a lot of us that really try to broaden some of those horizons, this is one that you don't get a lot of eyes into that sort of culture.
Yeah. My man is in the house. What's up? Trini, salute, salute, salute. We're talking about a movie called Terrified. Have you seen it? This man, he's another one that's all over that genre. I forget what he was watching today, but it was like a deep cut. I was like, you ain't watching Friday the 13th and Halloween again, are you? It's like he goes deep. Hold up the Blu-ray again if you can, Ryan.
Sure.
Have you seen this, Trini? If so, put it in
Terrified.
the chat. But 2017 South American joint. So subtitles, or you could do the dub. I think some of the streaming services adds the dub, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out. Maybe I'll just turn back Shutter on for a week. Hey, it might help me find some more movies.
I haven't watched
No.
it in a couple of years. Maybe we can make that our catch up time. Have you and the wife come over and watch it.
Oh, even better. Cool.
It won't have to cost $7.
Do you know this person?
I do. Scolders from my channel. What's going on,
Yeah,
Mr.
I know.
Scolder?
I know. The Crazies. Yes. Yes. Fun movie. Good times. Let's go to the third one, and this is gonna be popular because this is a brand new physical
Everybody's got it
DVD.
right now. The Mist.
Uh, talk about it without spoiling it.
The Mist is a Lovecraftian Stephen King film that is about a mist that overtakes a city, and there is a family that lives on a lake, and they have to go get some supplies because this mist, there's something crazy happening, and the father and son from this family get stuck in a supermarket with somewhere around like 15 to 20 different people, and it is a small subsection of society that gets stuck in the supermarket together, and they start to break down because they can't leave. They have to sleep there. Thankfully, they have resources because it is a supermarket, but they don't know what's going on. There might be some sort of creatures that are starting to be visible in the mist that are starting to infiltrate areas of the store. But again, just like Day of the Dead, what you find out is even though there's some evil crap out there, man is where
The
you have to
true
worry the
evil's
most.
inside. And you said it, cross section of society. This
Yeah.
movie, it's not about the mist. I almost said the fog because hey, double feature. It's not about the mist. It's not about what's in the mist. Yes. 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 I have a theory on Exterminated Angel. It's purgatory. Think about it. But it's just it's the human condition, man.
It is, yeah.
It is the human condition, and it's how we were talking backstage, and we said sheeple. It is how you can be sheeple, and it is how I won't even say character growth, but it is how you can be persuade easily by
Well, that and
events going on around you.
it's kind of the opposite. It's characters breaking down. It's not
Mhm.
necessarily the growth, it's the death. It is
Yeah.
the death of what somebody really thought that their self existed in, and now that doesn't exist anymore. And because everything is gone, what are they left with? Some of
Yes.
the people are left with things that will terrify you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Favorite performance without saying why.
Marcia Gay Harden,
You're
because
damn right.
I wanna say why, and it's because I hate her.
Woo! She is everything in that movie. Quickly, Jeff, the 4K Steelbook is a Best Buy exclusive. That also has a 4 disc, but so does the Slip.
The Slip is not exclusive,
No, you could get that anywhere, but that
and it's a
that one
great
that
looking
Ryan's
Slip
holding
too.
up, they both look great.
Yeah.
They both look like great packaging, great releases. Sheeple, not cheap, sheeple. If you just heard my computer, that's my wife. I said, not now on camera. Because I asked if she wanted to talk about it. We watched it last week and she had never seen it before.
Wow.
And my wife is that person while you're watching a movie, did you see this before? Don't say yes. But she'll be asking you questions throughout the whole movie. If we're home, I get a million and one questions. There were
Right.
sheep in the movie, you saying?
I think he's talking about Buñuel still.
Oh, oh, okay. Another day, another time. We could definitely get into it. Um, but yeah, um, I can't spoil it, but the movie is great throughout the whole thing. Yeah, and then it hurts you.
Yeah. This is one of those, and I'm
Yeah,
not gonna spoil the ending, but it has a very divisive ending because it's very sudden. And there's a lot of people that hated this when it was released because it wasn't a happy ending.
yeah.
Um, I I kind of hate that feeling and that response. Not all of these movies have to have a happy ending just because you're
Mm,
used to it.
mm-mm. And I wish there was someone in the chat who read the book or this the story because my biggest critique of King's works, literary works, is he doesn't know how to end his books, and damn, is this not a great ending?
Yeah,
This is a great ending. So if it's someone else, maybe a screenplay adapter or writer or whatever, they knew how to end this because oof,
absolutely.
oof. Um, if you want, yeah, you said it, Mika. Brutal, brutal. If you want, if people want this, Jeff. He's asking why would horror have a happy ending? People want this. It's the whole reason we have Final Girls. People want some feeling of, well, somebody made it, or whatever the case may be. I don't get it. I don't get unless
Not only is it about walking away with hope, there is also the really sad side of this that this is gonna be depressing to talk about, but the
go there.
studio side of it, they
Yeah,
want they want you
yeah,
to walk away feeling that you are accepting of the ending and that you're leaving satisfied, and
yeah.
so when they focus grouped negative endings of a film with a positive ending, they're gonna go with the positive ending 9.9 times out of 10.
All right. I'm gonna make the assumption that everyone has seen Get Out, but just in case, I'm gonna throw up the banner for a minute. The original ending when they screened it, um, Chris gets arrested.
Yep.
He gets blamed for everyone. And then they tested it, and everybody says, no, we need a happy ending.
Yep.
And then they redid it, TS mother F and A. And,
And you get the ride off into the sunset shot.
yeah, we don't always need that. Doesn't always have to be there. Still talking about it. Okay, read the story. It left it in the air and ambiguous.
Well, and that's the
Sounds
thing.
like a Stephen King book.
This is adapted from a short story, not just a short story, a very short story.
Mm,
So this was basically just inspired by, and what was fleshed out here is so much better than that short story.
yeah, yeah. Without spoiling it here, thank you. Should have been a brief montage showing the passage of time. The thing happens too fast to be believable. After all that adversity, you root for someone to survive to overcome the bad guys. And usually it's just one or two people, hence Final Girls.
But the reality is, there's not always somebody that survives and overcomes the bad guys.
Yeah. I love films that have the opposite of a happy ending. Yeah. I think with this genre and several of the subgenres in it, the satisfaction really comes in the film. So
Yep.
by the time you hit the end, regardless of how it wraps up, you're kind of sitting with it. Like talking about Nightmare, I don't care who makes it at the end.
Right.
I'm there for Freddy. I'm there for him to come out of the body and put on the fedora and just wreck shop. That's it. It's, he's an icon. That's it.
And that's why
Eh,
those first 2 Freddy movies are different because he wasn't quite an icon yet.
yeah.
They were somebody that was a time when they were actually trying to terrify you. But even then, it had a semi-happy ending until they give you a cliffhanger to make you feel like Freddy's coming back, which of course
Hmm.
he always will.
Yeah. So by the time you get to 3 and Welcome to Prime Time, now he's Mr. Popularity.
Yep.
Now he's on MTV. So, woo. What else you got to say about The Mist, if anything?
Um, look at the creative team and everything that they go on to do. It is made by Frank Darabont and has Thomas Jane and like 6 people that end up in The Walking Dead because Frank Darabont did that first season of The Walking Dead and part of the second season. And it really it lays the foundation for what he was going to do just a couple years later in this group of people, and it's why he was the perfect one to take The Walking Dead from screen or from page to screen. And it's still one of the biggest tragedies, I would say, of the last 20 years that Walking Dead was ruined by taking Frank Darabont off of that movie, off the show. That could have been so much better if he was left a showrunner.
Yeah, I forgot where I fell off on that show, but I know I'll probably never completely go through it because it just got very long in the tooth.
Yep.
It's very hard to have a great horror film from beginning, middle, and end. Takes a master storyteller to hone that. Yeah, and
Yep.
these days it's storytelling by committee, which I think makes it harder.
Way more
because
difficult.
everybody's just nobody baseball reference here. No one's trying to get a hit. Everyone's swinging for the fences and trying to get a home run.
Yep.
It doesn't work like that. You need it to build. You need transition. You need to look at your characters. You need to look at the movie as a whole. So yeah, man. I'm really glad that this got the release that it did. Just talking physical media collectors, because I don't think a lot of people have seen this. They might have seen it like in Walmart with a different cover every season and just said, I don't know what that is. Is it like The Gate? And just kept it moving. But now that it's a 4K, everybody will get it. So yeah, sort of touchy point for me. Very touchy point.
Same.
You still need something to exist. So then all we're doing is just remixing the past. AI. I mean,
By
it'll try to
definition,
put
is what
something.
AI is.
It's going to try to put something together, but the originality will not be there. Thanks for stopping in, buddy.
See you, Nathan.
Take care. All right. This one I was happy to see, because this is like the next one that we're talking about here is like nostalgia for me. This took me back to my college part-time job at the repair shop that was also a video game store, that was also a video rental store. So
you probably remember this title better.
Yeah, what's the story behind that?
The original distribution in the U.S. brought this on as the Gates of Hell, but in the original overseas distribution run, it was actually known as City of the Living Dead, and it ties it in to what he was going for there. When the Gates of Hell, it makes it feel, because it's part of a loosely connected trilogy from Lucio Fulci, and unfortunately, the Gates of Hell it's kind of like the name of the trilogy, not really the name of the film. So it's an interesting, like, all-encompassing name, and I think it's just more that'll look better on drive-ins when we release it in the US type of
Yeah.
name.
Going back to the Mist real quick. Have you checked it out yet? How's it transfer?
I literally got it in today and unwrapped to talk about it here.
Okay. I'll probably cop it over the weekend, Trini, so I'll shoot you a line and let you know. Because I mean, I just watched it, but I'll just skim through it. I'm not going to watch the whole thing. Maybe I'll just skip to the end and just like depress myself. So
I'm eager to watch the black and white Mist in 4K.
that's why I want to get it, because my friend Christian, hello if you're actually watching, Tuesday night he's like, black and white version of The Mist. Do I need to say anything else? I was like, oh, you got it. But it was apparently it's on the Blu-ray too, or some copies. Yeah. So he had the Blu-ray. I thought he went out and actually bought a 4K day one, but just got me too hyped.
Well, and that Blu-ray was out of print for a long time. That's another reason why it was such a big deal that this got released.
Yeah. I'm surprised he had it, but you saw like Walmart copies here and there too. I don't know if it was the same transfer, but so yes, back to, we'll just call it City of the Living Dead because it makes more sense that way.
Yep.
Yeah, that happens a lot. They do it to sitcoms too.
Too many times.
Man About the House becomes Three's Company. So Dustin says, favorite Fulci, dare I say a perfect film. That's high praise. Tell the people what it's about, please.
City of the Living Dead is about an individual that I mean, it's weird because the film is kind of a perfect mess, and so it's hard to say the movie is about X because there's a whole bunch of stuff happening here. There's an individual that gets buried alive, and they rescue this person, and then they go about trying to close the gates of hell that have been opened by a priest hanging himself, and the the movie itself is done in a way that is known for traumatizing a generation. There are scenes in this that have stuck with people for decades. For this, all you have to say is the drill scene and the car scene.
Ooh.
And immediately people are just taken away with stuff that they've been watching for decades.
Oof. Wait a minute. What year was Zombie?
81, I
Okay.
think. Something like that.
Okay. I think he was trying to outdo himself, going scene for scene.
Possibly.
We won't get into details. Just saying, watch
Uh,
City of the Living Dead, then watch Zombie. Yeah,
Jeff is right. The
I didn't
maggots,
want to throw it
that's a
out.
big one too.
It's in my pocket.
So the car scene is one that we should probably highlight at least a little bit because it is the scene that is shown in the top half of the slipcover here. This
And a
individual is
hanging
in a
tree.
car, and Lucio Fulci took lamb's intestines and had this actress stuff them in her mouth so that she could vomit up her own guts. And she actually put a lot in her mouth, and oh my gosh, does it come out for a long time. Uh,
Gosh.
this scene is terrifying.
Oh my gosh. Uh, okay, the other day I was on Dell on Movies. We did movie swap. I finally watched Candyman. You guys just stopped making jokes behind my back about it. And he told me in that movie, the scene with the bees,
Yeah.
real bees in his mouth. And
Did he
then
tell you the behind the scenes of why Tony Todd agreed to do it?
a rack every time he got stung.
He got a bunch of money.
Yeah, man. $1,000 every time he got stung. And it was like 22, 23 times
Yep.
he got stung. Oh. But this and the funny thing is you don't watch a movie for a while, you won't remember everything. That's the
Right.
beauty of being able to go back after a while. I forgot how gross that scene is. I mean, the rest of the movie, it moves like a Seinfeld episode because you're just waiting for the brum, brum, ba-da, brum, and
Yeah.
it just goes back to this person and what they're doing over here. Now you got a kid and what's his story going on over here, and you're just waiting for them all to convene and come together. But when that scene, man, not even the drill scene. The drill scene, I was like, oh, okay. But that scene right there,
The drill scene
interesting.
was a magical piece for when it was done, though. The
Oh yeah,
practical effects were astonishing then.
1980, folks. 1980. Actress is terrifying. Kind of scares me to think someone would do that. Hey, man,
That's the point.
gotta get this dough. Whew.
That and Lucio Fulci was kind of a dick to her. So
I was just about to say he's known for being crazy. I mean, he made that shark dance with a zombie, and it looked like he was doing capoeira. The way he was just going back and forth. I thought he was
right.
going to start doing some moves here, but we're all over the place. I love it. Yeah, and I heard he's not an easy dude to work with, or wasn't. So
No, but he made some magic. He's got a lot of masterpieces. He's definitely one of my favorites.
now, just going back to an earlier statement here, do you see it as a perfect film or
Uh,
too disjointed?
well, in my opinion, I think it's very much both. And Dustin's next comment, one that I said, is definitely where this lives because it is perfectly imperfect.
Mm,
There are so many threads to unravel in this movie that it sort of feels like an anthology film at
yeah,
certain points,
yeah,
and the way that everything comes together, and it has the same tone as the other two films in the Gates of Hell trilogy, that you really just dive into this feeling of overall weird, and you just get lost in that world. I'm very happy with it. I do think it's fairly close to a perfect film. I think it's probably Fulci's masterpiece, but it's not my favorite. I think it's just probably his best film.
favorite.
I it's maybe an odd answer, but I kind of think it's Don't Torture a Duckling. I
I
just
don't think
love
I've
the
ever
way that
seen
movie
that.
has come together. It's a very giallo type of film.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one.
Great release from Arrow on that one, but I would assume at some point somebody will do a 4K.
Yeah, nice. But yeah, man, thanks for bringing me back watching that. I was like, and I didn't have the 4K, so I was streaming it, and I was like, this transfer was probably good. I didn't even remember who did it. Talk about the physical release that you have there?
The physical release is wild. Cauldron Films put this out, and it's a 4K, and it is 3 discs because they've got the 4K disc, 2 Blu-ray discs, and then the limited edition also came with the CD soundtrack. That's
Mhm.
amazing.
I was going to talk about that. The
The
music in
score is
this,
so good in this.
and I mean, Fulci is, especially around like 70s, 80s.
Yeah,
His soundtracks and his scores are really on point,
yeah.
almost to the point like you want to get a hip hop producer to sample it, kind of thing. But this one, what's up, Adam? This one, just like I see it was going through, I was remembering, I was like, wow, I forgot how dope this is. So go ahead. I just had to put that out there because yeah. So limited edition has the CD soundtrack on it.
It's got stickers that came with it. It's got a really interesting case for the CD. It's not like a regular CD case, and it didn't come in the Blu-ray. It's the same size as this one, but
Hmm.
it's the separate thing, so it can fit on your shelf in the same orientation. But the 4K transfer is like stupid good. Like, it should not look this good. This is
Yeah.
one of those movies, and it doesn't make it look fake necessarily, but you have to wonder, when Lucio Fulci made this movie, he didn't have all the money in the world. He didn't think people were going to look at this in a critical vein 43 years later. He was making this movie going, what's kind of fucked up that I can put in this movie? And he did it. And it's 43 years later, terrifying in certain scenes, but
Yeah.
it's shockingly gorgeous to look at. It is so well done.
That's awesome.
And
That's
one
awesome.
nostalgia piece I got to throw out there.
Yeah.
I grew up separate from my mom. She lived a different life, and that's how it happens sometimes. I rekindled my relationship with her, 10 or so years ago, and a few years ago we were discussing horror movies that we loved because we both found that we had the shared love of genre film. And she brought up that she couldn't remember the name of it, but she remembered being very young, going to the drive-in and seeing this movie where somebody threw up in a car, and it terrified her. And I kept asking for more details, and it came to find out it was City of the Living Dead, and she had not seen it since that original night in the drive-in. And so a couple months ago, my mom and I sat down and we watched the 4K disc of City of the Living Dead together. And to
Nice.
see her eyes sparkle, rediscovering that childhood trauma, essentially,
Hmm.
oh man, was that a fun moment.
Yeah. That was the same thing. Well, I guess we've watched it a couple times, but the first time we put in the Jaws 4K
Mm,
and we put on the big screen down here,
yeah.
that's another example of a movie. Well, you probably had all the money thrown behind the restoration and everything, but that's another movie for the time in which it was made. Has no reason looking that good.
Right.
Oh my goodness. It looks so good.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Once again, I asked for spooky and creepy and not necessarily horror. And I knew I could count on a couple people to definitely have that left of center choice. This man is definitely one of them. A, a very sweetheart of a woman, like coming on later this month, is another one. Tell him what your fifth movie is. I'm going to
My,
put you full screen from the beginning. I'm just going to be here shaking my head. Nobody needs to see that.
my fifth movie is a very, very recent movie from a director that I have started to fall out of love with. I've not loved most of his recent stuff, but this movie shook me to the core. And I really think everybody needs to see Paul Schrader's First Reformed. First off, I think Ethan Hawke is one of the most underrated actors in horror of the last 20 years
Facts.
by a long shot. The stuff that he's been able to terrify with Sinister, with some of his scenes in this, that people just don't give the respect to this guy's name. It
Hmm.
is an embarrassment for what he's done, because he's been able to do some great things in history. But First Reformed, this sort of takes the person aspect of Day of the Dead and of The Mist and takes it on its head, because we have these societal norms that you choose to live by and choose to face or choose to disobey, and you just don't know what the people around you are going to choose to do.
When I saw you put that on the list, like my cheeks started to hurt because I'm like, he gets it. I
Yeah,
think this is one of, and this happens a lot with horror movies, where people go in surface level, they don't get into what's really deeper
right.
at the core. Because you could watch this and just say, okay, dude was,
Nutty.
but what is, I said I immediately have to ask you this. What is spooky and or creepy about this movie?
The spooky and creepiness of this movie is that no matter what is the best way to say this?
Without
Um,
spoiling it?
no matter what side of society you're on, there are fears of people being radicalized in ways that can change the world that you will have absolutely no control over.
Yeah, yeah. And there are 2 lines in the movie, and it's not spoiling anything, but, there's a scene where he says, "Jesus left the garden, you live in the garden." And if that's not like an encapsulation of this
Yeah.
man's character in this movie, I mean, to an extreme,
Oh yeah.
and it's like, eh and then he also tells him that he doesn't live in the real world, and there's so many people who are, "Hey, I can't front, some of us, we're just in our world." There's people among us that can't talk about anything besides movies and collecting. They can't have a conversation about, the weather or sports
Right.
or, you know, intrinsic values in people's lives. It's all they know. And there's a danger and also a spooky factor in just doing all you know and not being able to evolve in that. And like you said, when you're in that environment, everything is delicate,
Yeah.
including the way you see things. The balance of, not to get religious or anything, but the balance of God who is love, but also is Old Testament God too. Or there's just so many aspects to it. And this man kind of goes through it. And just quick question, it was less than a year, right?
I believe so. It had to have been just thinking about how the story unravels, it had to have been less than a year.
Yeah. So in less than a year, just the transformation. Think of like when someone's being possessed and the transformation that a good horror movie gets to show you. You see that, but it's internal. It's
Right.
really beautiful. It's really, and I still remember the first time I watched this. I watched it, and I'll admit it, at a surface level, and I'm like, "What did I just watch?
Yeah.
And why was that? And then why didn't he want her there? Blah 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 blah." And then yeah, it's definitely a, you get more on the rewatch kind of movie.
Yep.
So,
This is a
um,
film that has allegories coming out of every single scene. This has some of the best acting in, this type of film that I've ever seen, and it's, probably an interesting thing to point out here, it's really difficult to nail down a genre because this is not really a horror film. It's it's barely even a thriller. It's more of like a paranoid drama to a
yeah,
point, and the way that Amanda Seyfried and Ethan Hawke are interacting with each other and the way that the characters develop primarily through dialogue, but they don't show the development through the dialogue always. It's the acting that comes with it. It gets more frenetic sometimes, it gets more withdrawn sometimes, it gets more confused sometimes. Um, I think that this is a movie that if you want an example of modern acting that can convey emotions better than almost any movie, this movie might take it for me.
we got a hard question in the chat here. I think it's hard. Is this
Oh
Schrader's
god.
best writing? Because
Um,
Schrader loves to write about all this type of existentialism, in his movies, whether it's going back to him writing for Uncle Marty, for Taxi Driver, or Card Counter. A lot of people didn't like that movie, but that's a movie you cannot look at from a surface level. You would be like, what is Tiffany Haddish doing in this movie?
Right.
But it's everything underneath. Ooh, I can't answer that. Someone just watched it. Adam just watched the trailer. Yeah, the endless watch list. We all got one. But move it up and look at it, or give yourself time to watch it twice. I would say that. Like, watch it and come back the next night and just watch it again, but try to pick up like deeper things from it. But back to this.
I think this is his most profound writing, probably. But in terms of best writing, there's a handful that you gotta put up there with it. I mean, even something like Blue Collar is superbly written for when it was made. Hardcore, even though a lot of people don't love the movie, it is incredibly well written. Taxi Driver, I'd probably say would be a slight downturn from these, even though Taxi Driver is an incredible movie. The writing isn't necessarily what sells that one.
I think it's the combination. The first thing I thought of was Mishima.
I was looking at that and Cat People back to back and going, how did he get these two movies back to back so well?
Yeah. If I had to answer, I would say probably Mishima.
It's up there. But I do think that First Reformed is probably the most profound and borderline prescient film that he has been able to pen.
And most unexpected too.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone expected it. It was like, oh, Ethan Hawke's a priest. Okay.
Right. Considering what he had put out before that, the best film that he had written in the 5 films before that was 18 years before that. So to have First Reformed come out after 18 years of an excellent screenplay is this is the type of gift that people look for late in a career that is shocking, and not just because of what is on the screen. It's wow, you still have that gift.
Yeah. Great choices. Great choices. Once again, I saw this list and it made me smile. I can rely on Ryan to definitely come left of center. He's not going to bring the low hanging fruit kind of thing. So
no, and I got a couple semi-populist picks because I want some people to be able to grab onto those. But something like First Reformed, something like The Mist is somehow criminally underseen still. Even Day of the Dead is probably the most underseen of the zombie trilogy, oddly.
I would say, like, although you say it's your favorite, I would say it's the least popular.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Because Dawn and Night are so highly regarded as far as like horror movie popularity.
Yep.
I could see how it could be missed.
And then there's Terrified, which somehow only like 43 people in the world have seen.
But I normally ask what's a movie that needs more love, but I definitely think just from your description, that would be it. That would be the answer.
Yeah, it's up there for sure. There's also lots of populist picks of recent times that people are down on that they don't need to be down on, but that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah. Next time you have me on, we could go there. For those of you that don't know, over Ryan's stage left right ear, cobalt blue box, that's mine, but I'm just letting them hold it. And every time I watch his show and I'm like, oh, you haven't moved it. That means you're not looking at it. Why do you have it? Just give it back to me. I know you paid for it, but just give it back to me.
It's on loan long term.
Show them what it is, because I love it. I still think it's one of my favorite packagings from last year.
And it's a good time to talk about it because there's another one that is shipping from lots of retailers right now. This is Curzon is the company that put this out. This is the Three Colors trilogy. And as you can see, this is a beautifully bound box and textured the entire way around. Once you remove the belly band, you have this giant box on the inside. These are all 4K, by the way, and Blu-ray. But then you have this solid box on the inside, and you take out from that box, and on the inside is where the magic happens, because this is going to get unwieldy. Let me not drop everything.
Love it.
There's so much in this.
French colors. That's what 3 colors represents. Red, white, blue.
And there are short films that are on this that are not in the Criterion release. And I know that there's so many people that the Criterion collection put it out, so it has to be the best release of this.
Not always the case.
I think Curzon has taken this, and the one that I just alluded to, and I know that this one is going to not be for everybody either, but they just released the Lars von Trier collection, and that one is starting to ship from Grindhouse and Orbit and a bunch of places. They are a little pricey, but again,
yeah,
it's like the Lars von Trier is almost everything that he's done. Almost everything.
Wow. I love that box set. It makes me want to sell my Criterion 4K.
That's what I did.
And then, but you did it in time.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the difference. Dell still hasn't seen any of the 3-color trilogy. There was, the reason I hesitated there was a thing that says don't watch it in red, white, blue order. Like somebody put out like the way you should watch it. But I'm with Sardis, man. I love blue. I love blue.
It's good stuff. And it's another one that Screenland played actually just a couple of years ago as those 4K restorations were going around.
It does look presidential. I like it.
Absolutely.
And that's has nothing to do with the director. Different person, different name. But I do like what they've been doing. 3rd, 4th release?
Well, what's funny is I think they're kind of on like a comeback tour of sorts. They used to be aligned with a company called Artificial Eye, and they've done some decent releases. Like they put out the Handmaiden over there in the UK in this nice double disc box. But they never had great features. They messed up a lot of the subtitles, the encoding, pretty trash most times. And I think if my research is right, so don't quote this and go starting news articles or anything. I think the gentleman that owns Cohen Media Group in the US is a rich old white man that loves cinema and bought Curzon. Literally bought it outright, and now he's bringing some prestige over there. And I think the way that it's lining up is he's on this trek to bring their reputation up. And now they started with a semi okay Bong Joon-ho release, which it's got pretty much everything that he'd ever made. Unfortunately, transfers are kind of ick, and there's no special features in the entire box. And then on top of that,
it's nice.
Yeah, it's great art too, super good art. Then they did the 3 colors. They did the Double Life of Veronique 4K. They did the Lars von Trier. They did Ruben Östlund.
That's right. That's the one I couldn't remember.
And that one, it came with a custom-made card game for the director in every single release.
That's fun. That's fun.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then the other one, I totally forgot to bring up. They also did Wim Wenders.
That's right. I think Nathan has that one.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, but I love that. I don't know which one will be my first. It won't be Von Trier, but that's for sure.
Oh, why not? You don't want to be depressed for the next 3 weeks?
No, I don't need more Antichrist in my life. It was once was enough, and Nympho was enough, and yeah.
We can take you to the house that Jack built still.
Nah, I'm good. This was fun. This is always fun.
I agree.
We could just hang out. But before we land this plane, tell the people where they could find you.
Everywhere. I'm sort of everywhere. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Patreon under the Disconnected. You can find me, follow me there. I am an account that posts all of the physical media announcements, and every single Thursday I have a weekly wrap-up show of sorts where we go over all of the physical media announcements. I always have a guest. We go over all of the announcements, react to them together, discuss what we know about them, talk about all of the special features, make sure that you are up to date with what's coming out. But then most of the time we have a long, fun film discussion afterwards, and it's getting to the point where it's taken off. We get people from some labels twice in the last month. I've had labels come on and reveal trailers and titles, and we discuss things that they're putting out soon. And that is little spoiler. That's not stopping. We got some other stuff coming up here soon. I am trying to get more guests that have never been on the show to come on, and it's expanding. There's a lot going on, and then on top of that, every single week I try to put out an interview on Monday or Tuesday, usually with somebody from one of these boutique labels or somebody that contributes to releases. I've also done some filmmakers like Sean Baker's been on the channel, Josh Rubin from College Humor, and he's been in a handful of movies. He's directed movies. Werewolves Within is my favorite that he's done. Yeah, lots of stuff going over at the Patreon for the Disconnected. I do a monthly zine.
I was just
That
about
is,
to say, you got to mention the zine, man.
it's taken off, man. I don't even know what to say anymore because it started. The first one was like 8 pages, and I was like, this is pretty neat. And now they're up to almost 20 pages a month and
Mhm.
have some incredible film analysis inside of it. People from labels are writing articles for it. I don't even know how to like ring it back in from where it's gone in the last handful of months.
When do you sleep, bro? I know you sleep well, but when do you sleep?
A little bit. Usually only for a few hours. And it's like right now, I literally in the next 2 weeks have 4 projects that are due, 4 discs, and on top of that, I have a zine that's supposed to come out in 9 days. So there's just a lot going on.
Yes, if you join the Discord, you could bug him while he's doing this man also has a regular job on top of this. So midst of the day, while he's trying to get some food in his stomach, you could bother him. Me too. I do like that movie. The remake, not so much. Will Ferrell and yeah, no.
Not your favorite, huh?
Louis Drive. No. Um, but yes, I want to thank everyone who dropped in the chat. Uh, you're part of this. As I always say, the conversation doesn't really take place the same without the chat. So I want to thank you for being here tonight. I want to thank my friend Ryan. Now that I'm virus free, we gotta get together in person and I don't know, dinner, movie, something.
Absolutely.
Thought it'd be Carpenter Fest, but you know, we're going for white pizza. If you have you had white pizza before?
White pizza's great, yeah.
White pizza is awesome. So I'm going for some of that before we go to Screenland. So but
We can have dinner and then get terrified together.
you know, that is sounding like the move. That is sounding like the move. See if the wife is up to it and we could go from there. But we're gonna take off for now and just want to thank everyone again. And as I always say, go watch a movie. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. Ooh, I might as well announce it now before we leave. So I've been saying I have a mystery guest, and you physical media collectors are going to like this. My mystery guest tomorrow is going to be Orlando Aracena, aka Maxi Funk.
Nice.
If you've seen the Steel books, you love him. He's going to be hanging out. So come join us if you can. 6 p.m.
Awesome.
Central, so 7 p.m. Eastern. Come back and see us. In the meanwhile, have a good night. Talk to you tomorrow.